Welcome to Senior Insights. My name is Cynthia. This is the afternoon version of The Scoop. So I've had a hard time figuring out what to talk about because there's no gossip. We've been dealing with things right when they happen practically the same day. So we're pretty much caught up on all the scoop about everyone. But I did have some interesting emails, and I just want to remind you, stick around to the end because I am putting up 3 pets pictures. You know why? Because I can't remember if I put them up already. I've got so many, and as I've told you many times, I'm not as organized as I should be, and my memory is like a sieve, so I don't remember the ones I put up. So I have chosen to put them up even if they were up. So, make sure you stop and listen to them. Watch them. And and I know you'll understand if I posted them already, you'll still enjoy seeing them because they're awfully cute pictures. I'll see you later. So I do have a couple of things in mind. One of them was recommending a song because, we did the Red Dress song the other day, and somebody is obsessed with it. She blamed me for making her, it's playing over and over and over in her head, and she can't get it out. So I'm going to give her another song that she can get it out, and it is done by Alex Warren, and it's called Patricia the Stripper. Now, let me see if I can tell you a little bit about Alex Warren, because I never heard of him. But this person who was kind enough to let me know, to suggest him, I appreciate it, so I just followed up on it. He's a multifaceted artist born in 2000, September 18th, in California. He's a singer, he's a YouTuber, he's a songwriter, and he's made significant waves in the entertainment industry. His music style blends folk and pop, and I only listened to one of his songs, but I loved it. It has this beat. You'd almost think that it's something that would be played in a Western saloon, the beat of it, I guess. I'm not an expert on music. He's known for his heartfelt ballads. He started making YouTube videos when he was 10 years old, and he gained popularity on TikTok. He's amassed substantial followings across the platforms. He has 3.03 million subscribers on YouTube. We're almost there. We only need 3 million more. 3,200,000. His single in 2024 was called Burning Down, and that was kind of his breakthrough. He got his first recognition on the top 100 chart. And then in 25, his single Ordinary topped the charts in several countries, Australia, Canada, and the United Kingdoms. So his personal life, his dad passed away when he was 9 years old. So he started his YouTube channel when he was 10. I haven't jumped over to his YouTube channel because I'm getting a little behind with my meetings with you. So when we're done and you guys leave, then I'm going to do some further investigation because he might be fun to talk about. Or I wish we could play the music on here, but there's so many copyright laws, and I still have a little bit of goody two-shoes in me, so I don't want to end up getting arrested or thrown into YouTube jail or something. We've all worked too hard for that to happen. His mother died in 2021, so that was only 4 years ago. But he's experienced homelessness at 18 after his mother kicked him out of the house. I wonder what he was up to, or if she was just like that. He's married to Kavor and she is a fellow social media personality they tied the knot in June 2024. I don't know if that's a male or female name. It's Kouvr Annon. And that person is another social media personality, so we'll have to look him up too, because it'll probably be interesting. So he's been January's Billboard top, I don't know what you call it. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting, and the song is delightful. It is about Patricia, the stripper. So, if that offends you or anything, but it's cute. It's like a little story. It's cute. Watch it. You'll like it. And maybe that'll change the Lady in Red song, and then you'll be having this beat. I don't know. And that's all I have to say. No. For those of you who went to college or to a tech school and you boarded, or a boarding school, or the school of hard knocks, and you lived there, did you experience any pranks? Well, I went to St. Elizabeth's School in Boston, and those girls were all goody two-shoes, but they still did pranks. And I remember some of them were pretty cutesy. They used to grease the handlebars of the ladies' room to get into the bathroom, saran wrap on the toilet, stuff like that. Nothing really bad, but some schools or kids did some really nasty things in other schools, not in the one I went to. But this was a craze in 1960. So it's sort of a little before my time. I was only in the 7th or 8th grade, I think. And I don't remember anything about it, but on the campus at MIT, I chose this story to talk about it because everybody's so hot. So we're going to talk about icicles, if that's okay with you. Well, it doesn't matter because you can't answer me back, so I'm just going to talk about icicles. But the intent, what I had in mind when I saw this story was, well, it's hot out. My first thing was, well, it's not winter and it's not Christmas and stuff. And then I said, yeah, but everybody's hot, so they can cool off by just thinking about icicles. So in January 1960, at MIT, the students there, this was kind of a campus-wide prank. They decided to, or a craze, it probably wasn't, you wouldn't consider it a prank. We'll talk about somebody who was a prankster, though. They built a giant 4-story icicle dangling from the roof of one campus building. It was called the ice-creating craze. Sweeping universities, apparently all colleges all over the country did it. It was ingenuity, pride, engineering flair, and mild absurdity all rolled into one. So it sounds more like a fun thing, don't you think, than, it's not really a prank thing, but it's something that happened in our era, or just before our era, anyway. It was so big that it practically blocked the entrance to the building. And it was just built by students as a prank. It was tricolor, giant 4-story icicle. And it was crafted by using buckets of water frozen over time at MIT. The prank was part of a broader icicle crazes on campus that winter. By the time everyone noticed, classes were delayed and locals were gawking. It was visually bizarre. It was salmon pink and blue stripes hanging off of a building. So it was kind of maybe like a summer cartoon or something. I don't know. It sounds pretty weird, and this is pretty lame for the scoop, but I bet you didn't know about this, or if you did, tell us, because that would be fun. We'll know you're older than I am. It was really pretty harmless, but it was all over the country. But it's kind of a way to get into talking about the pranks to avoid boredom and the breaks. So if you're bored this winter, you should go out and do an experiment. Make a giant icicle. It doesn't sound like it's that difficult. And you can use your food coloring. Ow, sorry, that was my hip. You can use your food coloring to color the water, and you can make it multicolored. I think I might try that if I can stand going out in the frigid, cold ice. Is that cooling you down at all? Did you bring a cool drink? I have a watermelon on the counter. Did I tell you about that last watermelon that I bought? No, I was saying I leave them on the counter to, I guess I left this one on the counter to rot, because when I went to cut it, it looked perfect, but it was rotting from the inside out. I know I told you this. I have another one sitting on my counter. I better cut it up pretty quick. It's been there a week. I'm glad we had this meeting, because I wouldn't have thought about it, and I'd probably decide to cut it up when it was rotten from the inside. Okay, back to our gathering here. This is just a little nugget from history, and it's kind of cute. You can actually imagine it. It's probably finals time. What do all these smart kids that go to MIT have to do? So they just sat there to make an icicle. They did use hoses, and they just froze the water over a layer over time. And it was right over the front door, so people were afraid to, they were taking their life in their hands when they went in that building. They'd either run through or, I suppose you could get speared by an icicle. One time I had an icicle on the edge of my roof, and I had my charcoal grill, my new, what's that fancy brand of charcoal grill anyway, that I had to have it. And I had it under the eaves on my deck so that it would be easy for me to use. And wouldn't you know, snow and ice fell off the roof and crushed one of the tables that I had on the sides. This was a Weber grill that I paid $400 for, which was a lot several years ago. It's probably 8 years old or something. I've probably used it 4 times. I didn't use it all last year. I haven't used it yet this year. It's too much work to go out there, bring the dishes, bring the stuff, So I don't use it, but I had to have it. Because you know me, I like to spend money. And I like the fact that it's a Weber. I'm sure they all work the same. It works the same as my previous one. Anyway. When you went to school, did your whole school ever do a big prank like that? Probably not. I don't think my school did. Well, we had nuns in our class, and we had nuns that taught us, and a nun that was the director of the school. It was pretty hefty on rules and regulations. We had to be in at 10. They used to do room inspections and look for dust bunnies under the beds and stuff like that. And I remember my dorm room was kind of cute. I loved it. Had a twin bed. It was one of those plastic mattresses. Those are awful. But, when you're 19, it doesn't matter that much. I had a little sink in my room. That was pretty cool then. And we had, of course, the toilets were all like a regular ladies' restroom and the showers and that sort of thing. But anyway, what does that have to do with pranks? They used to put things on the statue of the Blessed Virgin Mary that was at the end of the hall, like clothes, jewelry. They were naughty girls. I never did any of that. It used to make me nervous. I was afraid. So once again, I wasn't in the in crowd, because I didn't approve of those things. But they were having fun, and they were harmless things. But I couldn't bring myself to participate. How weird is that? Is anyone else like a party pooper? I mean, I know it's not good to put jewelry on the statue of the Blessed Virgin Mary when you go into a Catholic school and you're Catholic, but, I mean, it was pretty harmless, wouldn't you say? So anyway, and when I went to school, it was the Boston Strangler was going around to nursing schools. I'll do a whole other thing on that, because that was really interesting. I didn't think of that till I just said that and was trying to think of traditions. Take a sip before we get started, because hear my voice? Somebody commented on my voice the other day and suggested that maybe I had acid reflux, and that was affecting it. And that's actually true. I do have acid reflux. It was diagnosed when I had my throat checked, but they called it silent acid reflux. It's not that one where you get all that acid in your mouth. I've only had that once in my whole life. This is, you don't even know you have it. So it was diagnosed twice, so I guess I have it. And I do take Prilosec for it. Back to the pranks. This wasn't real. Well, I guess it was a prankster, but people were afraid of him. This was in the 1980s. I wonder if any of you ever remember this one. It happened in California, Southern California, at universities. And he was a mysterious prankster, or maybe you'd consider it funny. Someone was going around painting female students' toenails while they studied. So he must have been like creeping on the floor of the library looking for women. I mean, they had to have sandals on. Probably in Southern California they did. Sandals or flip-flops or something. He would paint their toenails, and they weren't even aware of it. So the police, he had a nickname. His name was called Leonardo da Toenail. The police made up that name. And no, he's not really a superhero. But he would sneak into the libraries and study rooms and paint their toenails when they were intensely studying, They caught one of these people. I'm not sure if it was just one person or it was like a phase, and it was copycats all over the place. But they found one person with 15 bottles of nail polish on them. But the police let him go. It was not enough proof, supposedly. I guess they didn't catch him in the act. But he kind of slowed down, and then the following year, he started all over again. So that's when they named him Leonardo da Toenail. So it's totally absurd, but it was real. Maybe it's real now. Is there someone going around painting toenails, women's toenails? How many of you get pedicures, talking about toenails? And do you call it a pedi or do you call it a pedicure? Let me know in the comments, because I have a thing about what you call them. I'm not going to tell you, and I'm not going to tell you ever. So just do me a favor and do that, would you please? If someone was doing that now, do you think they'd get away with it? They'd be on TikTok or YouTube, instantly exposed with our cameras and stuff. Excuse me. So I wonder, who was he? Did he ever get caught? Where did he go? He could be your husband, or your brother, or your uncle. Did he run out of polish? I wonder if his polish ever got thick. Do you do your nails yourself, or maybe you used to, and after you use one bottle of nail polish, it gets kind of thick, and it doesn't look good when it's on? I haven't polished my nails lately. Why is that? Because people keep me too busy, then I get too anxious when I do these lives, and I can't even think straight. Well, that's not true. Well, you can tell that I don't think straight by my all over the place videos. But I do have some gossip. I don't know if I said in the beginning, but plain vanilla grandma, I've talked about her a lot. She's a strong member of this community. She communicates a lot, and she was wondering if I saw her comments today, and she said, you told us to comment a lot, but I'm wondering if I comment too much. You can never comment too much. You can never comment too long, and I might not be able to get to everyone. I know someone said I was disappointed because she didn't read my comment. I set aside a time in the morning, and I set aside a time in the evening. And sometimes some of the comments get lost by me, by YouTube. Sometimes they delete comments. I don't know how that happens or why that happens, but comments that I've made have been missing. So I may have commented and they stole my comment. No, I'm only kidding. But I was talking about plain vanilla grandma. She reached her 3,000. As a matter of fact, she reached it on our live that we had yesterday. She had told her grandchildren and her daughter that she would do a live when she reached 3,000 subs. And she did. She did yesterday, and now the sky's the limit. So she did a live this morning, or I'm not exactly sure because she lives in California, so I missed it. I wasn't looking for it. I don't know if it was announced or whatever, but I did watch it, and I did enjoy it. She did it for like 20 minutes, and she did really, really well. I'm sure a little bit better. She probably learned some lessons from the way I did mine, which was pretty weird. So we answered a lot of the questions, what about your first date? Were you a cheerleader? Were you a baton twirler? Remember the majorettes with the big tall fur hats? I'm trying to find my list of questions. So I'm still going to ask you some questions. I'm not going to do it, though, till tomorrow, because this is Thursday. I'm not going to do it now. So eat your heart out. Have you noticed that the scoop has a different name? It's still the scoop, though. But I was advised by my family advisor, who was on the lives with me, that nobody knows what the scoop is except for you folks. We know what the scoop is, right? We like the scoop. I like the name. But he said, you can keep the name, just put more in the title about what you're talking about. So I can't wait to title this one. I'm going to title it, I don't know, Early Pranksters. 2 early pranksters. He says numbers are important too. So that's what I'm going to do. The prankster was Leonardo de Toenail. And I already forgot the other prankster. Watch for it in the video title. Or tell me. Anyway, I love you. I appreciate you. I'm so glad you came. I'm kind of out of it because those lives took a lot out of me. I don't know. I might be too old for doing lives. Anyway, I will see you tomorrow. And I'll see you tomorrow at the Scoop. Bye. And this is Kathy's dog, Gizzy. Very prim and proper.